Hi, welcome to Mr. Lane's science class. We're going to be talking about some really exciting things that we're going to be doing this year in my class. And really, it's going to be something called the flipped classroom. And this is our first video of the entire class where we're going to be talking about what is this classroom video thing and how is it going to be different than maybe some of the other classes you've been in before. So throughout this video, we're going to be looking and having our three targets. This is a picture, a slide that you're going to see quite often. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how the videos work, right? What are you going to see in them and why are we doing it? But we're also going to see what your expectations are. What do I expect for you to do during this video? We're going to see what a Cornell Note sheet is and how you'll have to fill those out based on one of our videos. And also, how do you recognize some of the key vocabulary and key terms that we're going to be in our video? And you're going to see those as we go out through this lesson today. So why videos? Why are we sitting here are you seeing this on YouTube and not in my classroom? Well, the reason is really there's quite a bit happening here. We only have about 127 hours, a little bit over that, in my class throughout the entire year. If you put them all together back to back, that's not that much. You think about it, if you just stayed every day, that's only 5 days, 24 hours a day, roughly, maybe a little bit more. But it isn't much time. And in that time, we have a lot to cover. We have things like nature of science, climate, weather, water cycle, rivers, erosion, weathering, rock cycle, volcanoes, earthquakes, plate tectonics, convection, layers of the earth, dating, geologic materials, geologic history. We have to talk about planets, deep space, astronomy, and lots of other stuff, just to mention some. We don't have a lot of time. So these videos are going to allow us to cover more material in less time. Well, how does it do that? Well, one, you get to watch these videos at home. So really, I'm almost doubling my class period. You'll be able to watch these at home and learn the material and come back to class. It allows you to go back and watch videos again. I know sometimes I might talk a little fast, or maybe it's some concept you're just not quite understanding. You can go back and watch it a second, third, fourth, 100th time until you quite can understand it. On the other hand, if you're really fast and you're like, wow, this stuff's so easy, and you fly right through it, well, then you can watch them really quickly and it doesn't really matter, right? So it allows you to kind of go at your own pace. It also allows for your parents to understand what they're learning. They can see how classes are going and what I'm telling you, and maybe they can help you out as we learn through this. So there's lots of reasons to make these videos. So how do they work? Well, when you come into class, you're going to see a slide at the beginning of the day. It tells you what we're going to be doing in our day. And you're going to see a spot that says homework. And that homework is going to tell you if there's a video assigned. It'll say right there at the top, homework. And it tells you that this video, the name of the video, and the due date. Now, usually you have a couple days. It's not like, hey, watch it tomorrow. Because I realize schedules are rough, and you might have soccer or baseball or football or water polo or chess or underwater basket weaving. You'll have some activity, so I understand. You have a couple days to watch the video. And there'll be a due date. So you'll go home, you can watch it at the library, you can watch it at home, you can watch it on your iPhone or phone or anywhere. And I realize maybe some of you don't have access to the internet at home. They'll be playing here at school before school. You can come down to my classroom and watch it. We can make time during lunch. We can come in after school. We can make this work. And even there might be chances to watch them in class if you're really stuck. So you're going to watch the video. While you're watching the video, you're going to be filling out something called a Cornell Note sheet. And this is a note page that will help you kind of lead you through our class. And we're going to talk more detail about that in just a second. And then you're going to fill out your notes and you're going to bring those the next day. And that's what we're going to use to do the activity. The reason we call this the flipped classroom, you might hear that term a lot, is that you're learning the subject material at home. And in class, when you come, would be the stuff I would do as homework. Well, sort of. There'll be more labs, there'll be activities. Some of it would be homework, but some of it's going to be in class. So it's flipped. What you do at home, you're going to what you did in class, and what you're doing in class, you're going to do at home. Yeah. So my expectation is you watch the video, you take the notes, so you're prepared to come the next day. So what is this thing, the Cornell Note sheet? If you're going to be expected to be able to do this, what does it look like? Well, first off, it's actually a really simple page. There it is. There's only 3 parts, right? There's the column on the left. There's a middle section on the right, much larger, and then at the bottom, there's another section. So you have those 3 parts to fill out. Let's start on the long column on the left. Right? This is where we call the big ideas. Now for the video, it's really easy. I already gave them to you. There are targets. So when you start a video, you're going to grab a Cornell Note sheet, and you are going to write the targets over in that long left column. Fill it out. Right? What are we going to do? What are the subjects I'm going to be learning about? What are the big ideas? Right? I like to call those also, like if it was a chapter, name of a chapter, what would it be? Well, then you have the middle section, that large piece. Most of the paper is that large piece, right? Well, that section, you're going to actually write your notes. You're going to tell me what you're learning about. What are the key things? You're going to keep, and you're going to use your targets as a guide, right? If the target is about volcanoes and learning about composite volcanoes, your note should be about composite volcanoes. That's pretty simple. So you're going to write all your notes going back to the targets on the other side. Now, once you watch, if you're getting lost, remember you can always pause the video, you can go back and watch it again. You can get all that information over and over again. Well, once you've watched the entire video, you've made it all the way through, you've filled out those first two columns, you're going to stop, looking at your notes, you're going to review and write down a couple sentence summary of what you learned. What did you get out of it? Right? So that's how a basic Cornell note sheet. And you're going to take that to class the very next day. When you come to class, that's what I'm going to be looking for. And it also tells me that you watched the video. Right? So you're going to watch the Cornell note sheet. So how are you going to make this work with the video? Well, all videos have basically the same structure. They start off with a very quick introduction or hook. I'm trying to get you interested. Maybe when you write an essay, you might put in a couple sentences to make the reader really want to pay attention. Well, I'm going to try to do that in the video. Make it interesting, those first couple sentences, first little bit. Then we're going to go directly to the page that says targets. This is really important because this is where I'm going to tell you what you're going to learn about and what I want you to be able to do at the end. So you're going to write those targets, remember, in that first section of your Cornell note sheet. Then we're going to get right into it. We're going to get into what we're learning about, and you're going to fill out notes, and away we go. Sometimes throughout the video, you might see a giant word in red. That's a really important term. That is a vocabulary term. So you want to definitely put that in your notes because it's a word that you have to understand in order to make our subject work. So we're going to go back and over it again. And in class, we're going to be doing an activity called vocabulary squares, where you're going to have to fill out a worksheet basically on those very vocabulary words. So really important. If you see a word in red, write it down. So we're going to get through all our material. At the very end, we're going to go back and you're going to see that target sheet again, and we're going to do a review very quickly showing you how we met all of the targets. I also might give you some instructions for class, like, hey, be ready to come up with a story. Or we might have a lab coming, or there'll be some kind of instruction at the end of the video. Every video is going to pretty much follow the format so you can understand what's going to come and how is it going to look. So, we've come to the end. We have talked about how everything works, right? We've talked about my expectations for the videos. Remember, you're going to be filling out Cornell note sheets. You're going to be doing it on the assigned day. You're going to see how the videos all fit together so we understand, one, how class videos work and are the expectations. Right? I've talked to you a little bit about what a Cornell note sheet looks like and how you fill it out. We'll be doing more practice on that in class, and you'll be able to fill those out. And we talked about how to recognize a key vocabulary term, bright red, right? And you'll know from there. All right, well, this is the end of our very first video, and I like to end them all the exact same way with one of my favorite movies, Meet the Robinsons. Remember, just keep moving forward.